Girls and Co. Girls and Co. Girls and Co. Intro.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to an episode of Girls and Co. with the two OGs. And as you heard, Joez McFly is here. What's up?
That was such a wonderful
That was
rip.
so good.
That was. I wasn't going to interrupt
We might need to
that.
cut that and just make that our intro.
Honestly, I think we might.
That was
we might.
really good. Oh my god.
They call me Jingle Joes because I can make jingles.
Do they?
That's a talent you have?
That's like a weird talent I have. I don't know if it can
didn't
monetize
know.
that, but
I had no idea.
No idea.
I just make songs and like beats and stuff like that.
Is this a real thing, or are you making
This
this,
is a real
up in
thing.
this moment?
This is a real thing. It's
Okay.
been
He
that
just
way since
proved
forever.
it.
Yeah.
That was incredible.
I'm impressed. Okay,
Yes.
we're going to have to talk after this for our new intro song. Joez, we like starting off each episode with talking about what we did last weekend, so we'll start with you. How was your weekend?
Weekend was great, actually. I can't complain after a nice, unexpected, unplanned 7-hour, 8-hour stream.
Again.
Yeah, we gotta like set an end time.
Yeah.
And then we went to Baltimore, and then I was so gassed after Baltimore that my Saturday was a wash, and then Sunday taught Noah how to catch and catch a football.
How'd that go?
That was good. Well, he just needs confidence. He needs to catch the
Yeah.
ball and get used to that, and then he was like afraid of the ball at first. So
Well, when a giant thing is flying at your face, I think you have to get used to that.
yeah, yeah.
So, for those who don't know, Joez and Jake have been doing these really long streams. Why?
Because you have to grind out a channel to try to grow it, especially in the beginning. And JM Gaming is kind of like my responsibility, so we gotta like try to grow that, you know. So it's anything you have to put energy into things that you want to grow, you know. It's like,
So, you're going to do like an 8-hour stream each week?
you know, to me, 8 hours is nothing, bro. Like, it's just, if I
God.
mentally prepare myself, like because I normally stream, like,
Yeah.
I've done 24-hour streams, you know, like, that's not anything to me. It's just being mentally ready to do it. I thought it was only a 4-hour stream. It turned into 8.
How does something like that just turn into 8 or 24 or 16 or whatever it may be?
Well, I didn't. 24 doesn't just turn into. You gotta like actually do it.
You gotta
and plan that, because you get tired after a while. But when it comes to streaming, I think it's just vibing with the chat.
Yeah.
So if you're vibing with the chat, or if you're with somebody, I mostly do my streams alone. So it's, you know, it's just me and my chat and just talking and interacting and like doing whatever I'm doing, whether it's watching a Yankee game or playing, you know, PlayStation, whatever,
Yeah.
you know? Like,
Makes sense.
whatever. So
Makes
it's cool.
sense. All right, Sam, how was your weekend?
My weekend was really great. I went home to Maryland.
Okay.
My sister and I took a bus home Friday afternoon, and then we just had a really lovely time at home, the four of us with my parents. I got my nails done.
Nice.
I
They
went
look
to the eye
great.
doctor because I was out of contacts. Saw my friend Louise, and then we caught the Yankee game at Camden Yards,
Nice.
which was great timing that they were in town. So yeah, I went with our like family, friends, cousins. So there was a nice group of us, and then BBD also was there.
Yeah, I was
which
about to
I
say.
realized like from social media once we were both there, and then like he was sitting down lower, I was like up top, and I was with my people, so I didn't like really have the chance to go down and say hi. And then we were all walking out at the end of the game. And we got split up from my crew because some like people went to the bathroom and some people didn't want to wait, so we all just like kind of migrated out on our own. And then BBD texted me, he's like, "Did I see your dad?" And then I was like, "You might have, because I can't find him." And we're looking for him, and he's like, "Yeah, he was sitting alone by the picnic tables, like looked lost." And I was like, "Yeah, you definitely saw him though." And then we eventually reunited. But yeah, so we did that, and then had a very chill Easter. Went to church in the morning, dyed some eggs. Picked up some food, and then took the train home and got back last night. So it was really nice.
Real quick, do you guys dye, are they hard-boiled eggs
Yeah.
or are
Yes.
they just raw eggs?
Hard.
I saw this debate on social
Cannot.
media this weekend.
Dude,
It
no,
has
it was
to
the
be
basement yard,
hard-boiled.
guys.
That's exactly who it was.
It was Joey and Frankie from the basement yard were arguing. Joe was like, "Yeah, I just like we just dye raw eggs,"
so
and Frank was like,
dangerous.
"Huh?"
No.
And he was like, "Yeah," and then sometimes like they crack. And Frank
Yeah,
was like,
it's
"Yeah,
like,
that's
that's-
why you don't do it like
yeah.
that."
Oh my gosh, that's also so funny. Speaking of them, so my two like cousins who I was with at the game, well, one was in college, one was there. They are obsessed with Basement Yard guys, and so Jack texted me a couple days ago because he was watching them and saw Frank was in the captain shirt. He's like, oh, look what this guy's wearing. I was like, oh, no big deal, but like we're best friends. Like I gave him that shirt. And Jack's like, what? Like, did you tell Charlie, who's his younger brother? He's like, Charlie's obsessed with them. Like we bought each other cameos from Frank.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
then I texted Bobo and he's like, oh my God, you met them? Like what? And I was like, yeah, I seen the pictures and the video I took and like felt so cool. And then Bobo sent me the cameos that they bought from Frank, and it was so funny. It was like,
what were they for?
So one Jack bought for Bobo Charlie is the same person, Charlie's birthday, and then Charlie bought one for Jack for Christmas. And it was the funniest thing. It was literally, probably Frank took it at maybe 11 p.m., slunked in bed, like so out of it, but just went on this rant for like a minute and a half long cameo of just like, saying nothing, but it was all so funny. And then in the one that he made for Jack, well, actually it was in both of them. He came up with this nickname for Jack. So his name's Jack. He's like, do people call you Jimpy? It was what? The funniest thing. He just like said this word and it like became a nickname. And I was like, Charlie, like, do you guys actively call Jack Jimpy? Like, because you have to.
No.
He's like, nah, like sometimes we do. And then it was just, his cameos are hilarious.
Wait, can we pick one of the Jacks in the office and call him Jimpy now?
It
Yes. We have a handful to pick
We have
from.
so many Jacks.
Yeah. I'll show you guys
Can't
the
be
videos
Olive.
because it was
Can't be Olive.
so funny.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, they were only $25, which shocks me. I thought they're popular guys.
Yeah.
I thought they could easily charge like triple digits.
I think Cameo $25 is actually like a higher up Cameo price. No,
No. I've seen like 100.
I've seen
I've
multiple.
seen, I've seen a lot.
Few hundreds. Like most of them are like 25 to 50.
My cameo is only like $5, or sometimes I'm like
I had a
giving
cameo
people.
from Joe.
Sometimes I'm giving people money.
Joez, I was just gonna say you'd be great on Cameo,
Yeah.
so I didn't
You
know
would.
you had one.
I have one. I need
You
to
gotta plug it,
I need to plug it more. So
especially baseball season.
Yeah.
I don't. It's just I got a lot of birthday requests on there, and like some like there's stuff I won't do though. I don't care how much you pay me. There's one dude like he tried to get me to try to give me $100
For
and
what?
say let's go Red Sox. It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, that will be used against you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
1,000%.
I just said it's just not gonna happen.
$100 is not.
They're gonna make more money monetizing that.
Yeah.
than you would.
Yeah, I said no. You can keep your money though. Thanks.
Thanks, but no. That sounds like a fun weekend.
Yeah, it was.
Taylor,
What'd you do?
how was your weekend?
My weekend was good. One of my roommates from college got engaged. So her boyfriend had messaged all of our college roommates and asked us to go out to Long Island. So after they got engaged, they were going to a brewery, like just them, but we were all there to surprise her. And it was cute. She was like crying. She didn't think we were going to be there. She'd like FaceTimed all of us. So they get engaged like early in the morning, like out on Montauk. So she FaceTimes the group chat and she's like freaking. So I'm in Long Island. She doesn't know, but I'm in Long. So I'm like, I like pull over. I'm like in a neighborhood. And so I call back and she's like, look, like whatever, freaking out, so excited. And I'm literally in the car. I'm like, oh my God. Like she's like, a photographer like ran out of the bush and I thought it was you. And I was like, I hope you didn't make her come all the way down here for this. Cause like Montauk's so far. Meanwhile, I'm in Long Island. She has no idea. And then, like, we were all on FaceTime with her individually, but we were all in the car, and he was sweating. He's like, I hope she doesn't realize they're all in the car. Like, is she going to, but she's so excited and, like, not paying attention. Yeah. And then she walked in, and we were all there, and so she was super surprised. So that's
awesome.
Yeah.
I think you said it correctly, by the way. It's in Long Island, not on Long Island.
Yeah.
That is a
that's
debate, huh?
That's
sorry.
a thing.
That is, you're right. That's a thing. I'm going to get called out for that.
No, well, I think
they say.
you said it the right way.
Do they say
no,
on?
They say on Long Island, I'm pretty sure.
But to
They
go
say
on
I'm in the island.
But to go on an island, don't you have to leave one land and cross to another land?
They don't say it the proper
Island?
way. Long Islanders don't say it the proper way.
They
You're
say
in the island, not on the island.
I think they
Because
say
it's not
on.
an actual island. Right?
I think they say on Long Island.
I don't know. It is. It is an island.
Is it?
It is. Yes, it is because it's just that it's still linked with Queens and
Yeah.
Brooklyn.
But that's
So
all
it's
an
still
island.
an island.
That whole thing is an
That's
island.
all an island.
Technically.
Let's look at a map.
Pull
Yeah.
up a map. I didn't do anything this weekend outside of just like hang out. So
Oh, nice.
chill.
That's doing something.
Well,
Yeah.
one of my good friends moved away from New York, so we all went out starting at like 3 p.m., 4 p.m. on Friday, and then I got home at 5 a.m.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an island.
Awful.
Yes.
Is it?
Like
Yep.
it is like
It's an
there is
island.
a gap of water.
I
Yes.
think it's just people think that it's
It
its own
itself
island,
is
but
its
it's
own
actually
island.
still connected.
Yes.
Because you don't say I'm going
I say I'm
on
going
Brooklyn.
yeah.
I honestly don't even know if I realized it was all connected.
Like, I'm not
You know
like,
why? Because they act like it's not.
No.
They act like
They
it's
act
not
like
connected.
it's just like floating out there alone. It's
well,
not.
it's
I've never
actually
really
called
explored this
Long
area
Island,
on a
so I
map.
guess That's why.
Yeah, so I was in Long Island. Just like if I was in the Bronx, I'd say I'm in the Bronx. I'm not on
You're
the Bronx.
in Manhattan.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Right.
So I was in Long Island. I wasn't.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whatever. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure they say on Long Island,
I'm on the island.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think they say.
Anyway,
We
that's
don't
where
say
I was.
we're on Manhattan.
That's
I
why
guess we
they're
could.
special.
I mean, we could
feel
in
they're special.
theory.
I'm on the Bronx.
That's
That
what
doesn't
I'm saying.
feel right.
Yeah.
That doesn't feel right. All right, Joe's. We finally got you here. Got you on the show because
Yeah.
you officially requested in what show was it? Was it Morning?
I think it was Morning, and Joe's and I were both listening to Morning, and they were talking about Girls and Co now, and I saw Joe say, "I want to be on," and I was in the chat. And I'm like, "You're coming on, Joe."
I think I said, how come I haven't been on?
You
And
said,
then-
"I want to be on Girls and Co."
Well, I think the first time Pax responded.
Oh, no,
she
it was
said,
Taylor.
No,
It's
There
from
was-
the
it was
Pax.
under
Was
your
it
name.
actually me or
Yes.
was
No,
it
it-
Paxton and Co?
there was one time. There was two times. One
Yeah.
time, Pax said, "Oh, I'll take this as your formal request." I'm like, I didn't know I needed a formal request. I thought you just like ask,
That's the rules of the girls' room.
Yeah.
right?
ask
Well,
them.
now I know, and it's kind of like I jaywalked and I didn't know, and I didn't know the rules. And then there's the, and then the second time, that's when you said, "Oh yeah, we'll get you on."
I was like, "You're booked."
Yeah,
booked.
you're in. So
Yes.
what we do every time we have someone come on for the first time, we like to take time to interview you and ask all the really juicy, detailed questions, make you uncomfortable, and pry into your personal life. Just kidding.
All right.
Let's start off with a very important question. Who are you?
I am Joseph.
How did you get Joez McFly? Just out of curiosity. Where'd that name come from?
I've been dying to know.
Okay. My friends and I used to have a gamer. That's our gamer tag. We all are McFlys, actually. It's not just me. It's Joez McFly. It's just the one that most people know. But there's other people. My friend Marvin is Marvin McFly. And then there's Rams McFly. And then there's... Like, all of my friends have that and McFly because when we would enter a Call of Duty lobby, it would just be, boom,
cool.
McFly. And
The
it's because-
McFlys have arrived.
huge, and it's like a Back to the Future reference because we're
Okay.
big time Back to the Future like fans and stans, and I'm a huge time travel guy, so I love all that. So that's where it came from.
Okay. And you just kind of stuck with it and it became your like
I mean-
online persona.
Yeah, it was my username. Like back on when I used to use like AOL and like everything, and it just stuck. And I had it on like Twitter and everywhere else. So that's what it was.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, I had no idea. I just remember meeting you like a year ago and I was like, is it with Joe's with an S, with a Z? So I like have to say like Joez McFly every time I like address you. I didn't know if it was like a whole thing.
No, I
or
mean,
just an online persona.
you know what's funny? Some people don't even know how to. It's Joez McFly, right? You know it's Joe's. Some people say some weird stuff and they pronounce
Yeah.
Joez, Josie. There's one dude said Joey Diaz. I'm like, where'd that come from? I was like, not even like anywhere near that. So it's whatever. People just call me something. I'm kind of like happy that people were willing to like, or they resemble me from anywhere. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's pretty dope.
I like it.
I said that all those pronunciations. Yes.
Yeah.
They all have different personas. So Joez is like a different kind of guy.
Diaz.
Joey Diaz is like he's like left. He's like Dominican hick dude. I don't know.
Joe's, I was on a train once coming home from a Yankee game.
Oh, this is great.
And it was packed. And it was like a Metro North train, like going back up to Yonkers, and it's packed. And I turned like you're on Instagram Live after the game. You were also at the game, and I'm just watching your Instagram Live. Maybe 15 seconds. I had it pulled up. some guy next to me is like, is that Joez McFly? And I turn and it's like a dad. Like he's like a 50-something. And I literally go, yeah. And he goes, how do you know him? I was like, we work together. And he was like, no way, I love that guy. Like was asking me a million questions about you. And I was like, and he had like little kids, no idea what we're going on. Like they had no idea. This dad was like, Joez McFly's on your Instagram. I was like, what? Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm trying to break into that kid audience. Like, just to, maybe I'll do that with my kids as well. Like, do more content with them. Something different, but we'll
Your kids are
figure it
so
out.
funny.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think that'd be
they
great.
already have been gold.
Yeah.
Oh, 1,000%.
Their Talking Yanks episode. I don't listen
Classic.
to Talking Yanks all the time because I'm not a Yankee fan.
Oh my god.
I listen to that more than once. It is so
Same.
funny.
Same.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
I agree.
They want to do more, so I said, all right, well, we'll see. We'll see what we'll do. So
Hey,
amazing.
I love it. Sam, do you remember the first time you met Joez? I'm curious what your first impression was of Joez coming into Jomboy Media.
I mean, well, I knew who Joez was from online because I, was a
Yankees,
fan
yeah.
and watched and listened, and I'm sure followed him before I came here. So I guess I feel like I knew what I was gonna meet, and I think you are very much
Yeah.
the same.
Yeah.
So I think it was honestly just felt very like it felt, I think, for meeting most people here. It just felt very seamless, I
Mhm.
guess. But I don't know if I remember like the exact day or anything.
How did you get here to Jomboy?
I kind of
Media?
remember Sam's first day too. I remember.
Do you?
Really?
Yeah,
What was
because
it?
it's like there is no like in this company, especially from when I started. There is no like introduction like. And it's still kind of like that. It's kind of like, oh, this person started. It's like, oh, it's no
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, we're bringing on somebody. They're starting
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Right.
Where it's
They
like,
just
show up.
Morning. Yeah.
It's just like, oh, who's that? It's like, oh, that's Sam. I said, okay.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah. So she's here. She's like a fan of the program, and she's real cool, man. Like I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah. And I'm not going to introduce myself ever to people. So
Right. So she was just like doing stuff, and I'm like.
I was just there.
I'm like, what? Like, all right, well, I don't know. Like, it's hard to hide in that Bronx office.
Yeah.
So, like, you see everybody.
Yeah.
How'd I get here?
Yeah. Like, what
well,
were you doing before you were at Jomboy Media, and what was your journey to get here?
Before I was at
Curious.
Jomboy Media, I was doing sales for Verizon, and I was still doing my vlog, my Yankee vlog. But that's what I was doing. I was doing that job. I hated that job.
What were you doing in that job? Just like selling like phones or like program or like what?
Telesales, so I was selling cable and Fios and all that stuff, and it's all right. Like I had every sales job that there's possibly out there, so I sell. So I'm not trying to, but that's why I don't sit with the sales team, because then I'm gonna want to like sell with them. Sales Steve might feel threatened. And
Wait, maybe you should.
teach them some lessons.
nah, it's like a weird.
Past
That's like a
life.
weird joke.
yeah.
We should do like a 1 week you are on the
Joe's
sales
on the sales
team
team.
and we like vlog it
That would be incredible.
and see how many sales you can make.
I can see you in the sales world so easily, and I'm not entirely sure why. Like, I
Well-
see that version of you.
Well, that's where I kind of got like my persona.
Charisma.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm always the same person no matter what,
Right.
on, off camera, whatever it is. So that's why my favorite job before was door-to-door sales. I would literally. I
You
would go-
liked that.
Yeah, I go knock on people's door, and I used to work. It was like for Optimum, and I'll knock on their door, and I'm like, "Hey, what's going on?" And I'm trying to get in their house to sell them cable, and there'll be days that people would just like close the door
I couldn't
in my
imagine.
face, or say no. I'd be like, "All right, I'll be back tomorrow." I know how to take no real easy, so it's like whatever. It's just some will, some won't. So what?
Yeah.
Next. So it's like.
Wow. I could never
That's
do
it.
that.
That's just my approach to rejection is like that. But the way I got here was like me and Jimmy before he even thought about a company. Like we were like friends before, right? So it was on Twitter. Me, him, and Jake probably had like a combined 200 followers.
200.
Yeah, about 200 followers. Like nobody knew who we were. And I started when I met when I first seen Jimmy, it was on Twitter. He was in Oakland watching Oakland game. Chris McFly. He actually sent me his video. He's like, oh, look, he's kind of doing what you're doing over there in Oakland. And I said, all right, cool. So I looked at it, and I messaged him. I'm like, yo, let's go, man. Keep it going. I'm always about showing love anyway. So there's other people that kind of do like reaction videos as well. And they'll be like, oh, look, you're just trying to be Joez McFly, whatever.
Right.
They'll tag him. And I'm like, bro, why you trying to like spit hate, man? I'm just trying to show love. So I'll be like, yo, keep doing what you're doing. So I told him, I'm like, yo, let's go, man. Let's go Yanks. You know, let's East Coast, West Coast, you know? So from there, we became cool friends. We would talk like after games. I'll see like his after game recaps. I'll do mine. And then, we're putting our stuff under the Yankee post. And then.
Oh, I didn't know you did that too.
Yeah. So we were doing like those things. And, it kind of like grew from there. And then I think he said, yo, I'm going to start a podcast. You should probably do one too, Joe. So I'm like, all right, sure. And that's when I started, Pitch Right Strong. And I went with that. He was doing Talking Yanks with Jake. They invited me on episode 50. So I was like.
Good memory.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that specifically because they're like, oh, this is like, we got to our 50th episode. Let's bring on Joez McFly and whatever. We talked about that. And then I remember the day he told me when he called me, he's like, I'm thinking about opening up a company. I don't know what to name it though. So we were talking about like what to name it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he's like, I don't know. We're thinking about I'm like, you're doing like Talking Yanks. Why not Talking Sports or whatever? I don't know. Which was another podcast, but he's like, I don't know. I think that's taken. Maybe Jomboy Media? I'm like, all right, yeah. I'm like, yeah, but then how? I said, how's Jake going to feel? Is it going to be media only about you? He's like, I don't know. He'll figure it out. So they went from there, and then he told me, I think when he first started the company, he said, Joez, it's me and Jake right now, and you're the first person that I want to bring on. Like, I don't know how. We don't have the money yet. It's just us two or whatever, but you're the first person I want to bring on, so keep that in mind. And at that time, there was another Yankee vlog or whatever that wanted me to be with them.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Like a blog. I won't name names. But I said, I don't know. I just wasn't feeling the vibes. And I said, I'm going to just keep doing what I'm doing until whatever. And then I thought that they forgot about me. I thought Jimmy and Jake forgot about me. Like, all right, Joez, we can bring you on now. I'm like, all right, let's go, man. Let's go. So that's how we started here.
What year was that? What year did you start with them?
I started, I think it was, all right, so it was me. All right, so it was Jimmy, Jake, Bill. I'm trying to remember if there was one more person and
Was
then me.
BBD and
Keith?
then or
BBD wasn't here yet.
oh.
It was like, yeah, not Keith yet. And then Keith came after, like when I was like, oh, maybe we should go try to like talk to Keith and stuff. But it was like we were like the first kind of like group
Yeah. Such a small pod.
to come through. Yeah.
It is interesting that you guys were both in the same field, same audience, like same market, and you never viewed each other as competition. You just like viewed each other as like complementary like fandom, which is just interesting and rare, I think, in the media world in general. So I bet when people hear like they were doing Yanks and you were doing Yanks, oh, do you guys not go like head to head all the time, like type of thing?
Right. And I even have friends that told me like, oh, why would you join them, man? They're gonna like, they're your competition. I'm like, well, nah. Like I didn't look at it that way. I just looked at it as like, yo, we can come together and build something.
Yeah, because your audience is different than theirs, like ever so slightly.
There's that. Like we still have convergence,
right.
like, but there's still like, I look at it. I don't look at it in scarcity as like the Yankees have the biggest fan base that there is,
right.
And that's if we're just only talking Yankees. We're not talking just baseball and all that stuff. So it's like, why would I think in scarcity and limit myself? Like there's more. We can friendly compete with stuff, but it's never like beef. some people. I don't know.
Yeah, and
People
you
are
guys
weird
also
like that.
cover so differently.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a
do.
little emotional.
Just a little.
But like you stream and like the way that you like, and when you go to games,
Cover games.
yeah, like
Yeah.
everything, like it's different. Like
Yeah.
like there's some overlap obviously in fans and your audience and things like that, but like you cover it differently.
Very much so.
Yeah, so that's how I kind of look at it. I'm gonna be me regardless. Like Jimmy's Jimmy, and somebody tries to be like him, then it's gonna be apparent. And people always tell me, "Oh, Joe, how can I be like you? You know, whatever." And I say the best way for you to be like, I guess, like me is for you to be like you.
Yeah.
Because I can't, like, I can't be anything else. I can't fake the funk. I'd
Yeah.
rather just be like Joe's or Joez or Josie or whatever.
Joey Diaz.
Or Joey Diaz or whatever. So I'd rather just do that. Just be Joseph.
So once you came on with Jimmy and Jake, you completely stopped sales and did this full time, or did you do both for a minute?
I wish. I wish. See, I have 2 kids, so I couldn't just drop everything and do it as much
Yeah.
as I wanted to. So I said, damn, I mean, even though it was a job I hate, they were paying me really well. And I said, you know what, I gotta make more money before I can leave. And that was like another goal that Jimmy had. It was like, all right, well, even though you're doing part-time or whatever it is, my next goal is to get you full-time and get you in here full-time. Like, I'm like, all right, well, let's do it. And we were working toward that till we finally found the place where we can do that. And that was dope. When I was able to tell Verizon, hey, I don't want to do it anymore. They were like, first of all, why? I want you to leave. Because I'm good at sales.
Yeah.
I'm like, everywhere I've gone, I've been like top sales. So it's not easy to let go of money.
I get that.
Right.
How upset do you think our sales team would be if you spent a week with them and you got top sales over everyone else?
I don't know how they're doing I don't know how they do their stuff. It takes some time to get acclimated. They do a really good job.
They do.
Yeah.
All right, so I won't ever say like, oh, I'll go out there and I'll tell them. I'll have ego. I will because it's just what it is. But I don't think I mean they do a real good job of what they do and selling stuff and getting us paid. So they do all that stuff. So
True. So always been a Yankees guy. Obviously, you grew up a Yankees
Yes.
fan,
Yeah.
and you also do a lot of video game stuff here. Has that always been like a passion project and passion thing for you as well?
yeah, and I think that I've always loved video games since like forever. My brother and I can talk video games we'll nerd out. That and anime, which is another thing, but that I can nerd out on like crazy. But we'll talk some stuff, and I think it was in the pandemic year where it's like at that point we were just like try everything mode.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, and I started doing video game stuff, and then that's when Jimmy and Jake were like, "Yo, you should do more video game stuff too, man." Like it's pretty funny because your reactions are kind of like everywhere you do anything, like, which is giving me an idea recently where I'm gonna start reacting to videos of people in the company. Like I might start watching like We Got Ice videos and reacting to them.
I love that.
You
And-
should.
That is
We
so
did that
funny.
segment on JM and the AM where we would just send you like a minute video and you just like instantly react to it, and that's it.
Yeah.
You should do that.
And react to like Jimmy's breakdowns, and he's already breaking them down, and I'm just like reacting to what he's breaking down. Like
That's funny. I like
do
that.
that.
That is
That's
funny.
That would be great.
pretty simple.
I mean, I love it.
But it's true. Your reactions really are just
Yeah.
across the board.
Yeah, because I mean, it's whether I'm pissed, whether I'm like hype, whether I'm happy, or it's like what exactly is happening. People think that I orchestrate them, and I'm telling you, I only know one way to
Impossible.
watch a Yankee
Yeah.
game.
my
I really do.
my favorite video of you of all time is the one, I can't remember exactly what happened in the game. It was last year. It was when you went up against the wall. and stuff.
Up against the wall.
You were on Twitch.
Like literally like.
Oh yeah, that was a sad moment. Sad.
Was it a home run? Was it almost a home run or something like that?
I think we lost.
I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was something like that.
Wasn't good. Very, very sad stuff.
There's clips of your like Twitch streams that have just like stuck with me, like,
Yes.
and I know like other people at the company too, like when you're like, it's 9:00. I said that in my own home the other day, and my roommate was like, what? And I was like,
It's an inside joke.
Joe's
with my
quote.
Self.
And then the one with Noah when he's like, wait, what? And he runs away.
Yes.
That one, I hear that around the office all the
Yes.
time. BBD
Yeah.
loves that one.
Yes.
That one's always floating around the office. People just being like, wait, what?
Wait, what? Yes, yes. He says that a lot.
So
Oh,
funny.
it's so funny.
A lot.
So funny. I'm not gonna lie. Before I got here, I remember watching everyone's videos just to try to get like a more like better idea of all of the personalities. And I watched your videos, and I was like, is he just like walking around the office like screaming all the time? Like I had no idea what to expect. But you're a lot more calm and like chill in person
I conserve energy because I know when to expend it.
until a video game or Yankees game.
Yeah,
comes
so
into
like I
play.
know, like I don't go around going. I mean, I do, like I'll react to something if it's happening, but it's like I'm really like just mellow most of the time, and until I need to, I'm like really emotionally into something, and that could be. I mean, I could be really into a snail race.
God, I would watch that.
I don't know. I don't know.
Joe's
I
watching
might.
Joe's
really
watches
good.
snail races.
I might.
I mean, there's times when we're sitting out there and it's like everyone's quiet and just like working, and then we just hear you screaming from the gaming room, and like
Yeah.
no one even looks up.
No.
Yes.
No one even looks up. It's
No.
like so normal,
Yes.
Good.
which is great.
Nice.
I do have a really
Okay.
tough question,
Tough.
and it might make you uncomfortable, but I want to know the full story.
Okay.
Why dolphins?
That's
Where did it
just
come from?
Jimmy
Why did it
monkey
start?
wrenching and like throwing stuff, and it's the same thing as like that
Tommy John?
Yeah, that
Oh, that was funny.
Tommy John stuff. Like it's
Oh
just
my God.
Jimmy's always trying to like monkey wrench stuff and just put it. I don't know.
Did you do something with dolphin? Like I
No.
don't feel like it's just like a thing that we just pull
No,
out.
I did not.
I think it might have originated whenever I was here for the very first time last February.
What
of, like-
happened was there was a.
Did you go swimming with dolphins?
All right, there was a Weekly Dumb episode, right, about a person that fornicated a dolphin. I don't know. The dude's a weirdo. Whatever.
Okay.
Anyway, so I told him, I'm like, that's crazy because do you know dolphins are like scary. They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, they're like, they look gentle, but they're freaking scary as hell because if you ever, like, they're heavy, they're huge, and they're strong as hell.
Yeah.
So they're like, how do you know? I'm like, well, I went swimming with dolphins one time with my kid's mom. Like I when we were together, we went, swimming with dolphins in Dominican Republic. And they make it seem like such an experience or whatever it is. Like I'm terrified because these things they're like, all right, there's some rules. Don't touch them here. Don't like do this. I'm like, I'm scared, So I follow directions really well. So when people tell me not to do something, I don't. But that was a crazy. Like I wanted to get out of the water so bad.
Like you didn't
because
enjoy it at all.
I didn't because they kind of like they do something. They did something at the time where it's like you put your feet straight, like and you're like swimming like this, like if you're floating you're like on your stomach in the water, and they'll come behind and swimming at full speed, and they'll put their beaks on your feet and push you as hard as they can.
Yeah.
And they swim fast. And they pushed me so fast, like I did like a whole backflip in the air. I'm like, I'm out, bro. Get me out of here. I can't do this shit. I don't want anything to do with this. They took pictures. The pictures, because of the way that Jimmy has said the story, they're not too ingratiating of like what is saying. And then that's basically where that came from. One picture does look like I went to prom with a dolphin.
It does. It really does.
But I did not. I'm actually like kind of like terrified. So
the Talking Yanks episode when you're sitting and they have it up behind you. And they're like, so you've never kissed a dolphin. And there's just a photo of you and a dolphin right behind you. It's so funny.
Yes, they said, have you ever kissed a dolphin? And I said no, which is true. The dolphin kissed me. All right? The dolphin kissed me. I didn't kiss the dolphin. So,
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
And then on the billboard.
And we're still.
Can we
still-
I think this is where people think that you're like not in on the joke.
Yes, I'm in on the joke. I get it, but it's like, damn, freaking dolphins. I wish I never showed them the damn picture.
But people think like I think some people think that you're upset that Jim like, and it's not. That's clearly not
Yeah.
the case.
Well, no, because you gotta understand, like, where, like, our relationship is. Like, we know it's kind of like it's. I don't know. I don't look at. It's not the same. I don't look at Jimmy as a boss per se. I look at him as a friend first because that's how we started,
Yeah.
right? Like, we've always been that way. I'm not saying that I'm gonna go out here, I'm gonna walk outside and like slap him. Like, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that to, any other friend anyway. But I don't take that stuff personal because we're just all joking. It's kind of, even my other friends, like, we have a whole bunch of other jokes we cannot say anywhere. But there's a whole bunch of jokes, like, that we have. And, so... and the dolphin thing is actually like there's other jokes that we have that's like nobody can know. So
In the vlog,
I don't take it personal.
In the vlog when Jimmy shows you the billboard, everyone's like, "Oh my God, Jimmy looks." I think people don't realize that Jimmy's not being serious. He seems so serious because like, no, Joe's like, look at your names on the billboard, and he's coming off as so serious. So it seems like you're upset and Jimmy's excited, but really Jimmy's excited that he's fucking with you.
Yeah.
And people aren't like,
Yes.
Jimmy's so
He
good at like
likes to do
hiding
that.
it. Yeah. Jimmy's so good at like masking
Yeah.
what he's trying to do and like be sneaky about it. So yeah, this is just it's hilarious.
If you think
It's a whole
if you're on
ongoing
camera and you
bit.
think Jimmy's serious, you haven't seen Jimmy serious. You've seen Jimmy serious when he's like, there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that you won't see like on camera. Like if things aren't going, like, all right, warehouse, if things aren't going well, Sam knows. If things aren't going well in a warehouse or like something's not getting done, he's like, let's go. Like, it's like, let's move or whatever it is. Like, things need to get done a certain way. But you got to understand that we got to like get stuff done.
Yeah, there's
But,
a serious side
yes.
to it, of course.
But nobody's, like, outside of like people in the office, I don't think people have seen Jimmy serious.
Yeah.
It's very,
No.
very rare.
And the jokes with you, it feels like, for some reason, just always blow up and like take off and stick around for a while.
I mean, the Tommy John thing was...
The Tommy John thing was
insane.
remarkable.
And that I think has been forgotten about, at least in my head.
Oh.
That was crazy.
I think Joe's
Yeah.
and I are bonded because we both basically had Tommy John.
Yeah.
Oh, you did.
Well, I did not. I wish
How
I had
did that
the
one
cool
come
spot.
up?
I just said it's always just starting like from something small, whatever. I just said, "Damn, I think I said my arm's bothering me, like something small like that." And then Jimmy said, "Oh man, you got Tommy John."
Oh, and then they went on
and then
show
they
and
went
did
crazy, and then they said, "Well,
blew up.
Joe's had Tommy John," and then from there, Chris Rose tweeted it, and then
There's photoshopping pictures.
Photoshop.
Michael K called him like, "Why is Joe's okay?" Like, it went too far.
It was amazing.
It went too far. It went crazy.
It was so funny.
I couldn't believe how many people were saying, "Yo, Joe's, I can't believe you got Tommy John," and
I think, didn't Carabas say something?
yeah, like it was just a whole bunch of.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
Like, people actually were like,
Some people thought
Believing
like some
it.
people were in on the joke. Like there's people, there are people out there that know the joke, that know how our way of joking works. And there's people that don't, and then they're like, "Wow, you had Tommy John? That's crazy. What are you doing? Are you not even throwing a
How did you
baseball?
do
Yeah,
that?"
how'd you do that?" So that's
Amazing.
funny.
Joez, have you always approached Twitter the way that you do now, where you just literally say and tweet whatever you think? the second
it's
you
real
think
simple. I mean, I've always treated it the same way. Like, it started with Facebook because they ask you a
What
question.
are you thinking?
That's how I look at it.
Literally ask you what you're thinking.
So if you go to Twitter right now, it says what's happening, right? I think that's what it says, right? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It says yes, what's happening. So I just type what's happening. That could be a video.
So
I just
good.
literally answer the question. So it could be like, it could be 2 a.m. in the morning, and I just say, something I'm thinking, or hey, I'm walking down the street or whatever. It's just I answer
One
the
night I
question.
saw you tweeted like, "Water's so good, man," and I was like,
Water's
"Yeah."
so
It's
good.
not wrong.
Like you know what?
You're not wrong.
The time when we were out in Arizona.
Oh,
you
and
guys
I was
were
out with Joe. Yeah. Joe's and I were out, and we were literally in the same room, and I looked down at Twitter, and it's like, man, I'm tired. I got to go home. I'm like, Joe's, you can leave.
Yeah, I was like, what's going on? But, I'll just answer the question and just keep it simple. And I don't take Twitter serious because some people do.
Do you respond to a lot of people just when you want to or when you're feeling like stirring shit up, or do you just ignore most trolls?
Sometimes I answer, sometimes I don't. I don't know. I have to stop. Sometimes I do it.
Yeah.
I start arguing with them, and I've already lost. So I don't block people anymore. I don't block people anymore at all, because then that gives them like a little satisfaction.
Yeah, it does.
What I do though is I mute the mute button. I love the mute button, so I'll mute.
That's
I'll
a good
mute
one.
Conversation. I'll mute people, and I'll go ahead and I'll mute them.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I have a video of you responding. You tweeted something about, it was at when we were doing the Giants game at the watch party. You tweeted something about football. Someone responded, you need to stay in your lane and just talk about baseball. And your simple response was no. And I respected that. And I filmed it.
The way I look at it is like, and I tell anybody, and they'll say something like, oh, you should do this. I take constructive criticism very well all the time. But when you're telling me what to do, it's different. I'll tell people the day you pay my bills, then you can go ahead and tell me like that. And I'll say the day that you're sitting here and you're, if you're putting food on my kid's plate, then sure.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Then they are indirectly, with like supporting my content, but they're not supporting. They're just like,
Right.
oh, stay in your
tearing
lane.
down.
If I stood in my lane, I'm staying in a box, bro. Like,
You'd still be in sales.
I'd still be in sales. Be comfortable making, $150K a year or whatever in sales and just doing that. But stressing out all the time because I got to like meet quotas. But I'm not doing that. I don't want to do that. I'd rather do something that I actually want to do
That makes sense.
all the time.
And that's why you're Joez McFly.
And that's why you're Joez McFly.
That's it, right? Like Joez.
Joey Diaz.
Joez.
Yes.
One last question on personal stuff. Do you think you're living your dream? Do you think this is goal, or do you have something bigger in mind? Like, what's next for you?
Well, okay. There's two parts to that, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm living my dream because I'm covering sports.
Yep.
And, I'm helping build this company, and, it's a part of something, and you're building something that's going to be much bigger, like 5 years from now than what it is now. And that gives you a sense of purpose, and that's awesome. But I have goals, and whether it's through here and creating content, or whatever, I'm going to figure out a way to be rich. I don't know how, but I need to figure out a way to be rich.
I feel that.
And, have like, money coming in without me having to work, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Having residual. Mm-hmm. That's like my goal, so that I can really do what the hell I want to do, which is just have fun. Like, like if I won the lottery, would I still be here? Yeah, I'd probably still be here. You can't give me that kind of money though. I'll go crazy. I'll take the content to another level. Like, it'll be like going crazy, but I'll still be here doing stuff. Like, yeah, I don't know. I'm not here for a paycheck. I'll take the paycheck. Well, I'm not here just for the paycheck. So it's yeah. So there's goals I have in mind that I want to grow because I do, and I had this convo with Jimmy before, but I'm like, how does a content creator retire? Have you thought about that? Like, that's what I said. I said, I don't know. And Jake said, we're kind of like in the beginning of this era.
I don't think you ever retire. I think you figure out a way to do it you love, but not to I'm working all the time. It's just doing it because you enjoy it.
Right. I just don't know if I could be reacting to Yankee games at 60 years old. I might be having a heart attack. Or maybe it's a different way of reacting. I don't know. But
interesting.
That's how like I think about stuff. It's like, how do you like what happens later on?
Are we gonna be like 70 years old and like making TikToks? I don't know.
That's kind of tough.
That's kind of tough to think about. Tough to think about, but it is interesting. All right, I want to end on the obvious conversation. Yankees.
Yes.
You are the Yankees guy. You are the one that everyone knows whenever we go to a Yankees game. You're a celebrity, the one and only.
That's crazy.
It's honestly the most insane thing. First Yankees game I ever went to was with you, and there was 50 people asking for your autograph and photos.
That's still kind of wild. Like, I don't know how to react to that.
We have found something that Joez McFly doesn't know how to react to.
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
I love that.
Like, people ask me stuff like, oh, can you sign this baseball? And
do you sign your name, or do you have like a catchphrase you sign, like keep believing, or like a
No.
I don't know. You need to come up with one.
Yeah, maybe I need to like I'll sign, but maybe I need to make a new signature. I don't know. It's an awkward spot because I feel like I shouldn't be giving autographs. I feel like I'm a normal dude. I'm not like.
Yeah. Do you know how to do a Z in cursive? That letter always got me.
Weird.
I do. It's like a 3.
Do you sign Joez McFly?
I'll probably put Joe's.
And especially on a baseball, it's like a small surface.
Yeah, I will put like a goofy face.
That's cute.
There's
You
like a
draw
face.
it?
Yes, I draw a face.
With the tongue out, like a
With the
P.
tongue. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, speaking on Yankees, obviously we're pretty early on in the season.
Yeah.
We have our 2 Yankees peeps on the show right here.
Mm.
What you got on the season so far and future? Just unrealistic, realistic goals, overview of the season.
Yankees are gonna win the division. It's tough right now because there's a lot of injuries with the Yanks, and then there's the lineup stuff, and then the roster is kind of like weird because Hicks is literally there just for a walk, which is weird to have on a roster. So you just say, I just want you only here for a walk. And then there's the IKF, and then I think people just need to get healthy, and then things will sort itself out.
Mm-hmm.
But, I think they're not playing bad. They had a tough loss yesterday, but 6-4 could be worse, way worse.
How long are we into the season? Like a week and a half?
10 games.
10 games. Game 11 is tonight.
Do you find yourself like trying not to overreact this early in the season about certain things?
No, I react how I react.
You react. Okay.
Yeah, like
That's what I was curious.
If I'm watching a game, I'm going to be invested. I'm going to want the team to win. I never, and then you can ask any fan this, from any sport, you never expect your team to win every single game.
Right.
Unless it's like, I don't know what game, I don't know what professional sports team can go undefeated, but
I mean,
maybe
football's
football's
the
the closest.
Yeah.
But you still don't expect it.
Yeah.
14 and whatever.
Right.
14-3. But every game you watch, you want them to win.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a micro versus macro thing. So like
Yeah.
when you're watching the game, you're in that micro, which is that game you want to win.
You have to win. Yes.
Yeah, I want to win. Now I'll watch 7 or 20 games straight. I want to win every single one, and I think the players want to win every single one.
Right.
I know just from speaking to them. It's just it doesn't happen. Now, when it doesn't happen, the next day is, you think about it with a clear head, and it's like, okay, this happens or whatever it is, which is like another content idea I kind of have now. I just started one today where it's like the next day I'll take like the highlights and I'll just talk about what's happening, and I'm going to weave in my emotional clips into it while I'm looking at things logically.
I like that.
When I look at myself, I'm like...
Do you go back and watch your videos?
When I do, because I'm editing, but when I do, I'm looking at them, I'm like, damn, like there's some of them that I'm like, okay, this is kind of good. This happened, like this is kind of like a banger right here. Like this might bang. There's other ones where I'm like, all right, well, it's all right. Later on, they came back, or man, I'm really happy here. Later on, I was not that happy. Like I just look at stuff, so it's like you're looking at stuff like.
That's cool.
That's pretty cool, because then that's different.
Yeah. You're reacting to your reactions?
Yeah, that's kind of like what I'm going to do. I'm going to watch video and react to my reaction and react to this as well. Watch this video again and react to it.
It'd be funny if you did like a...
Gonna do a reaction of this.
Like in a month, you go back and watch like opening day. And then like the next day you watch the day after. Like you kind of like 1 month away, you go back and watch from before and see how you're feeling.
You know what I do though? I do this a lot. I just don't tell anybody, and I never record it because I don't need to. But I always go back to my first YouTube video that I ever made when I decided to start doing content about Yankee baseball. I always go back.
Why?
To keep myself, one, to keep myself humble, and two, to see how far I've gone. So it depends. Like I'll look at it periodically just to see like how much either I've grown, or sometimes you get in your head about stuff like, oh, you're not whatever, or you're not producing something, or you're not doing this, or whatever it is. But I always go back and see that, and like it kind of puts things into perspective for me.
It does.
I love that.
Especially in the content world, because content world's all about like what's next, like what can you do better, what are you going to like, what's next, and so it's good to. That's
like
good.
I sent Jimmy the video. Like I have certain videos bookmarked.
Just so you can go back and just
I go back and see them. Now there's bookmarking folders, so thank God, because before I had to like really scroll back. But I'll like sometimes I'll send like Jimmy a video from like way back, and then I'm like, yeah, look at that. And then, because Talking Yanks is what it is now.
Right.
So I'll send them a video of like episode 3.
Yeah.
Just to listen to it.
You're
like, damn.
Okay. We're doing something good.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It's hard to see a day-to-day change.
It is.
Yeah.
When you're in it.
You don't see it like when you're in it. It's like I was just telling someone this the other day. It's like when you're a little kid and someone sees you and they haven't seen you in a long time. Like, oh my God, you got so tall. But like you don't feel like you're getting taller every day.
No, you don't.
Because you see yourself every day. It's the same thing when you look back at like your career. You're like, oh shit, like I've done so much stuff. Yep. We've grown so much, but like you can't tell day to day the differences. So it's good to like look back and reflect.
Yeah,
That's important.
Pax, like if you're making content, right?
Oh yeah.
And I always tell people this: if you want to grow making content, make content.
That's it.
And you just it really is just do a whole bunch of shit and fail or whatever it is, then come back, rework, keep going, and then eventually it just kind of like, I'm sure that there's a like actual way, and Maddie will, there's like some algorithm and like, but the only way I know, maybe I need to take a YouTube class, is like, do shit and just throw it in there and just like
keep trying.
Eventually it'll just work. So I have reactions that'll do well on Twitter and they won't do well on Instagram. I have someone on TikTok, someone. So just keep putting it out there,
Right.
Just keep putting content out there.
I call it my 2012 or 2012. Did I say 2012?
Yeah.
Jesus. My 2012 social media mindset is like what I've like kind of try to keep going back to, because when social media came out, like Instagram was big, Twitter first got big, Facebook, whatever it may be. It was like 2011, 2012. And we just like put stuff up because we wanted to put it up.
Right.
You wanted to show a picture of like your meal you ate with like a sepia tone filter on it just because, and it got 3 likes, and you're like, sick. And I think working in content, it's really hard not to compare your stuff to other people or your success to others. And it is just kind of doing it and doing what you enjoy, as cheesy as that sounds. And I don't want to like discredit the fact that like you're going to put up a bunch of stuff that's going to fail, and it is disheartening. Like it does get hard.
Sometimes you
like that shit gets hard. Like
I wish I was as talented as Jimmy with editing, because he edits shit so quick.
Yeah.
So for me, I'll spend time editing something, and if something doesn't do numbers, I'm like, oh my god.
I get it.
It sucks.
Yeah, and that's why you have to like have those bookmarks to be able to go back and be like, okay, I'm not like sucking that bad because I'm here and I'm not there. But I get it. Like you do have to just do it, as Nike once said.
Yeah.
You guys got anything else for Joe's?
I have a random question.
Oh, love.
Outside of the Yankees, your
Yes.
3 most excited players to watch right now, like that you get excited to watch.
Julio Rodriguez. Love watching Julio Rodriguez. I've been watching like a lot of. It's weird. I've been watching a lot of Guardians too. Like,
They're a fun team to watch.
they are, and they've made me some money, also.
Cash out.
Cash out.
Yeah, cash out.
Plug.
Anaheim, Ohapi. I like him, and I found out that one of my friends is actually his cousin.
What?
I didn't know that.
Do you know Nikki Cass and him are really good friends?
Yeah. I knew that.
Ah.
Otani. I always like seeing Trout at bats because he really is good. Like really good. Like really.
They're not just
It's
saying
not
it.
just a
It's
fluke.
not just-
It's like
like,
it's
for
like
a-
real.
For a while, I was kind of hating. Like I was just like, come on, he's not. Come on, you guys just want to give him the MVP every year. But if you watch him on a day-to-day, like he really is freaking good. And like even last year, he got hurt, and you look at his stats, and it's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like still did that
Yeah.
being out. for
Like
so
I
long?
can't
Yeah.
believe that. Like he's like insane. So sometimes even though I'm a big time Yankee fan, I make sure to watch a lot of the league. So I try to involve myself in stuff that forces me to, like in fantasy baseball, like now with with cash out. Like it just has me surveying the league more. So like I remember I came to that realization with Kobe, because I'm a big LeBron fan, like huge LeBron fan, huge. I'm more a LeBron fan than I was a Knick fan, because he got me into basketball.
Wow.
And I'm just like, LeBron James is the man. Like, he's the best player I've ever seen. So it was always him against Kobe. So I used to always like hate on Kobe until I started watching Kobe.
Actually
and when I
watching him
seen
play.
him, I'm like, yo, this guy is fucking good, bro. Like he's insane.
Yeah.
Like, he had like 3 people on him. It didn't matter. Fade away. Like, I like hoops. I like hoops a lot. I don't know. People don't know that, but I like hoops.
Love basketball.
But those are like kind of like the 3 players I like to watch.
I'm gaming with Nikki in your room. Bye.
Cass?
No, I'm gaming.
Nikki Cass? What do you... Not
Well, you
cricket.
can go play with them. We're almost done.
Yeah.
Not cricket. Jimmy wants to do this
looks-
cricket game.
Cricket. Add it to your list of things to just become more familiar with.
Well, we kind of have to. We're kind of like a cricket company.
I was gonna
We
say,
are
I
a
think
cricket
we're all
company.
putting that on our
Yeah.
list. Yeah.
Add it to your list. Well, Joes, thank you for being a part of the show. This was great.
Thanks
You're
for having
finally
me.
a
Did you have
part.
fun?
Did you have fun?
Are you gonna
Yes.
are you gonna recommend it to everyone else and tell them that they have to ask to be on?
Because Jimmy refuses to ask.
Why?
I don't know.
He won't. So he can't be on because he won't ask.
He literally refuses. We've had his wife on, and he won't be on. We're
Do you
probably
think-
going to have his son on.
But does
before
he
him.
know the rules?
He does.
He won't ask.
See, I didn't know the rules.
Yeah.
So I was just jaywalking
But it's
and not
fine.
knowing
Now
and
you're
running
here.
red lights.
He knows.
Also, he knows. Then.
His loss. His loss. Well, everyone listening, this video will be up on our YouTube page, and we're going to be dropping all of the favorite interviews today as well. So be looking out for those. Girls & Co. YouTube. Follow. All right, that's all we got.
Girls and Co.
Bye.
Girls and Co. Girls and Co. With Joe.
Oh, that was so good.